Recording in progress. Okay. Hare Krishna and welcome everyone. Yes. Oh, that's me. Okay, that's a technical question I had because when the focus goes on the speaker, that's okay for you all, I suppose, but for me, I want to see everyone else. So if I click gallery, does that change for everyone else, or does that?
Yes, just a second. No, Guru Maharaj, it changes only for you. Okay. Everyone else has you as in spotlight.
Okay, good. Yeah, so here we are again in Saturday Sanga world. And I'm back in, where am I? Sadhu-bhavan, yes. Back in Poland, arrived, when did I arrive? Monday, Tuesday? Wednesday. I arrived on Wednesday. I think I arrived about 2 hours after scheduled due to a computer breakdown in the Zurich airport. Can you imagine? Zurich is Switzerland. Switzerland is the place where everything works perfectly, right? Wrong. Because they couldn't board us on the airplane because the computer system for that purpose was down. So we watched while the ladies were running back and forth, talking to each other, calling on the phone. Finally, I think they figured out a way to do it without the computer. So here I am. And we're happy to have some computer function that we can have our Sangha like this, which we have not had for quite some weeks. When was the last time we had this gathering?
Mid-January.
Mid-January. Okay. Mid-January. Right. That's when I was in Kerala, in the deep south. I don't know if there's, let's use that. Earphones give earache. Okay. So what are we going to do today? Well, we can sing Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, famous song, Vibhavari. And I feel it would be appropriate to speak in memoriam about His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami, Bhagavati is with us. When did Pandava actually depart from us? She's not speaking. Okay. It was after mid-January, as I remember. So, yeah. Okay, so we want to consider these departures. And what else? We can see if there's something anyone wants to say who was on Govardhan retreat. And we can see if anyone wants to say something who was not on Govardhan retreat. And then we can do some reading. And my last minute idea is to do some Ramayana reading, because guess what's coming up soon? What's the date? The date of Ram Navami is
30th of March, 30th.
I'm hearing different things. I can't hear. 30th of March. Oh, okay. I should note it on this calendar. Yeah, so it's coming up soon. Me. Okay. Calendars. Okay. Everyone okay? I'm okay, you're okay. Let me get rid of things. Okay. Let's sing. And I'm so glad to have a newly repaired harmonium. It's like new, or maybe it's even better than when it was new. And our genius repairer is Deva Prabhu from Croatia, who came to Poland. And I recommend, if you have a harmonium that is needing some repair, if you have a harmonium that's not happy, then bring it to Deva, or bring Deva to your harmonium, one way or another. Okay. We are continuing with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs of Kalyana Kalpataru. And this is Ucchvasa Kirtan, Nama Kirtan, song number 2. And it's Nama Kirtan, as we'll see, it's a series of names of Krishna, mainly describing his pastimes. And it's a song which in Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan, they sing this song every morning for Mangalarti. They sing Gurvashtaka for Srila Prabhupada in Prabhupada's Samadhi before Mangalarti, and then everyone goes in to the temple, and during Darshan and Arti, they sing Vibhavari Sesa āloka-praveśa Nidra Chari Utto Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva. The night has come to an end, and the light of dawn is entering. O Jiva soul, arise and give up your sleep. Nidra chadi, that apostrophe we know means it's replacing a ya, chadiya. Nidra chadiya utto jiva. So having given up sleep, utto, O jiva, O living entity. So it's like jiv jago. That's jago is wake up. Utto is get up. So it's this imperative form, familiar imperative form. Wake, jiv jago, utto, wake up, get up. Bolo, and again it's imperative, bolo, chant. What to chant? Hari, Hari, Mukunda Murari, Rama, Krishna, Hayagriva. What else should we chant? Nrsimha-vamana, śrī-madhusūdana, brajendra-nandana shyama, pūtanā-ghātana, abha-śātana, jaya, dāśarathi-rāma, Yashoda Dulal, govinda-gopāla, Vrindavana, Purandara, gopī-priya-jana, rādhikā-raman, bhuvana, sundara-bara, ravanantakara, mākhana-taskara, gopī-jana-vastra-hārī, brajera-rakalo, gopa-vr, citta-hārī, śrī-dhārī, yogīndra-bandana, śrī-nanda-nandana, braja-jana-bhaya-hārī, navina nirada rupa manohara mohana Vibhavari, Yashoda Nandana Kamsa Nisudhana Nikunjarasa Vilasi, Kadamba Kanana Rasa-parayana Vrinda-vipina-nivasi, Ananda-vardhana Prema-niketana Pula Shara Yojaka Kama Gopanganagana Chitta-vinodana Samasta Gunagana Dhamma Jamuna Jivana Keli-parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora. And then he concludes Nama Sudha Rasa Gao Krishna Jasha Rako Vachana Manamora. So two more imperatives. Gao, sing, and Rako Vachana Manamora, protect my words. Let's see what he says. Oh, addressing the mind. O mind, obey these words of mine and sing the glories of Sri Krishna. Okay. Yeah, O mind, mana. O my mind, Rakavachana. Obey this command. Okay, like that. So it's a list of names, and they're all, I think we can say they're in the vocative case. Not sure how that works in Bengali. But if it's like Sanskrit, then they're all names in the vocative, which means we're calling out to Krishna in his many different forms. O Rama, O Krishna, O Hayagriva, O Nrsimha, O Vamana, O śrī-madhusūdana, etc. That's the idea. All right, shall we try it? Vibhavari Sesa āloka-praveśa nidrachadi utta jiva Vibhavari Sesa āloka-praveśa nidrachadi utta jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Nrsimha-vamana śrī-madhusūdana brajendra-nandana Shama Nrsimha-vamana śrī-madhusūdana pūtanā-ghātana dāśarathi-rāma dāśarathi-rāma Yashoda Dulala Govinda-gopāla Vrindavan pūtanā-ghātana gopī-priya-jana rādhikā-raman bhuvana sundara-bara Ravananta-kala mākhana-taskara gopī-jana-vastra-hārī mākhana-taskara gopī-jana-vastra-hārī brajendra-nandana gopa-vr citta-hārī śrī-dhārī yogīndra-bandana śrī-nanda-nandana braja-jana-bhaya-hārī Nadi-nadi-radha Rupa-manohara Mohanam śrī-dhārī Yashoda Nandana Kamsa-nisudana Nikunja rasa-vilasi Yashoda Nandana Kamsa-nisudana Nikunja rasa-vilasi Kadamba Kanana Rasa-parayana Vrinda-viktinani Vansi Kadamba Vasapaya Ananda Vardana Prema-niketana Pulashara Jojakakana Ananda Prema-niketana Pulashara Jojakakana Gopangana citta-vinodana samasta-guna-dana Gopanga citta-vinodana samasta-guna-dana Yamuna-jivana keli-parayana Manasa-chandra chakora Namasudha-rasa Gao Krishna Jasha Rakavachanamana Mora Vibhavari Sesa āloka-praveśa Nidrachani Uta Jiva Vibhavari Sesa Golo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishnaya Viva Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Go Hari Bol, one thing that just now strikes me about this song is that it's really just a list of names, and there doesn't seem to be any order to them in terms of pastimes and rasa, because it's mainly Krishna and his pastimes in Vrindavan, but then where is it? Then there's dāśarathi-rāma in the end of the second verse. And there's, in the beginning of the fourth, there's Ravanantakara, a name for Rama as one, the killer of Ravana, the one who makes an end to Ravana, Ravana-antakara, literally. And within the Krishna Leela, there's some kind of interesting juxtapositions. There's in that same, so there's Ravanantakara, then mākhana-taskara, so suddenly we're with baby Krishna, little Krishna stealing makhan. And then suddenly we are with Krishna stealing clothes from the gopis, gopī-jana-vastra-hārī, citta-hārī śrī-dhārī. Yeah. Anyway, it seems like a kind of ecstatic mix, I guess you can say. It's meant for early morning, and the suggestion Bhaktivinoda gives is right after waking up. These are names you can chant. So we might think of it like that, as we wake up, right when we wake up, it takes us some time to orient ourselves. And in a semi-disoriented state of mind, one can just chant any and all names of Krishna, doesn't matter. You can mix and match the names. My totally mundane dream this morning, just before waking up, was that I could not find my shoes. I was trying to go somewhere. We were expected to go somewhere. And I couldn't find my shoes. I was so relieved when I woke up. Yeah, this is Maya. At least it's tamaguna. I don't think we can say it's anything spiritual. Anyway. Okay, sleep. Jeev Jago, of course, the others. One of the other early morning songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's saying, Jeev Jago, Gora Chanda Bole. He says, Lord Chaitanya calls, wake up, sleeping soul. Kota nidra jao maya pishachira kole. You're sleeping on the lap of Maya, of the witch called Maya. Pishachira kole. Kola is lap. The mridanga drum is, in Bengal, it's known more as the kol than as mridanga. Kol is lap. It's the the lap drum, I guess you could say. What is drum in Polish? Bębenek.
And lap, kolana.
Kolana? Okay, kolana bębenek. Yeah, all right. So again, welcome everyone to Saturday Sanga. It is Saturday, and this is a Sanga. And we're all together, at least in this electronic space. And it's nice. We can see all of you here. Let's see, on this screen, we don't see his face now, but there's Hiranya Pandit. And where did he go? He just disappeared. And Mamata Mai, there they are. Hare Krishna. And Anupama, we saw for a moment. There she is. Haribo. And there's Ajitendra. Hare Krishna. Joy. Yes. Istria Yatra. Glass, what is it? Glass Istria. There's a newspaper in Istria called Glass Istria. Glass means voice, right? The voice of Istria. And when I had a house there, one of the neighbors had a mule. And the mule, now and then, would be inspired to sing. And we all know the singing of mules is, yeah, it is what it is. But the funny thing was that the name of this mule was Glass Istria. The voice of Istria. So what does that say about newspapers? Okay, and Mandali is here. She's in this kind of mystical land. Yeah, interesting. You're sort of right in the middle of, I don't know where.
I think it's Varshana.
Oh, okay. Varshana, yeah. It's interesting how it sort of wraps around you.
Yeah, that's new.
That's a new trick. Okay. Yeah, and there's Dharmagupta, who is sort of looking in the form of a cow at Govardhan. And there's Soumya Karani, who is busy translating. And there's Rasodari-Hari, who is not translating. And there's Sinisha, Hare Krishna, Sinisha. And there's Vrindapati, all the way from Crowley. Whoever named that town Crowley should get a special prize.
Crawley, Guru Maharaj.
Oh, you have to say Crawley. That's even worse.
Creepy Crawley.
Creepy Crawley, yeah.
Yeah.
And Nritya Kishori is here. And Hemangi Gopi is here. And Mangala Chandrika is here. And who is this? Leela. Oh, Leela Mai. Is that you? Okay. I couldn't see so clearly. Yes, Leela Mai Radha, who lives all the way in the extreme north of New Territories, Hong Kong. so close to the China border that when you look out the window, you can see across to China. And Bhagavati is with us. Nice that you could join us. And Sita-Rani, speaking of Hong Kong, is also here. And she lives just we say in English, a stone's throw away from Leela-Mayi Radha. Actually, it's you who can see China, I think, from your house. Yeah. And Tirtharaj is doing something in Valencia. He's being Valencian. And Madana Jivani is there, right in the middle of Mayapur. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. And Braja Mohini is there back in Munich, I believe. Yes. And Madhupuri, you were there before, so you're there again. Okay. There's me. Oh, I'm also here. And there's Anandamayi somewhere in the obscure far east of Poland. And there's Surya Kunda in Hrevatsky land. And there's Dira Lalita, deep in the middle of Bushy, in her garden cabin. And ta-da, announcement. We have new initiates, Anandita-Rama and Amarachandra. Hari Hari Bol. Everybody can welcome with turned on. Hari Hari.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Anandita-Rama and Rama. It's a Rama. Anandita-Rama and Amarachandra had their initiation at Govardhan. Yeah. Oh, and Sharada Tilaka has just arrived. And Malati Mala also. And there's some others here. There's Galaxy A12. That could be Hridaya-Ram, I'm not sure. And there's Katyayani, all the way from Galicia. Galicia, yes. And Subal Gopal is somewhere still in Mayapur, no? No?
Pretty much Jagannath Puri right now.
Oh, Jagannath Puri. Oh, okay. Also nice. And there's Hridayananda, who is, I think, back in Croatia, yes? Yes, because you had to leave. And Kavi Chandra's wall decor. Oh, there you are. Okay. He's busy, I guess, translating also. And we saw Madai Jivan at one point, and Tade, hooray, Tade. in Slovenia, and Davorin, either
Hare
in
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please
Hare
accept my
Hare.
humble obeisances.
Jai.
All glory to Srila Prabhupada. We came from Harinam now, so
Oh, you're on
yes.
Harinam.
Now I'm in the temple here on the sun.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So good. And there's Davorin, who is, I think, in Austria, but maybe in Slovenia. And Analakshita is with us all the way from, I want to say, I always mix them up. There's Latvia and there's Lithuania. It's Lithuania. Yes, Lithuania. Litauen. And Ratnavali is with us. Nice. And Boma Vrindavan is with us. That's interesting. I think Boma Vrindavan we haven't seen for a while. See if he manifests. Ah, there he is. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari.
Yes,
Where
I have.
be? Where are you being?
Excuse me?
Where are you?
Oh, I'm in Belgrade. I just got back from India the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in my kitchen. I'm cooking. I'm trying to make buckwheat roti, but it's not going according to the plan. They're kind of stiff. They're not soft. They're kind of stiff.
Well, I'm sorry I can't help you with that right now. Okay, and then who else is with us? Is Bhuvana Chandrika. Wow. Bhuvana Chandrika, all the way from Mendoza, Argentina. Yes? Yes, yes.
Haribol.
Sí. Señorita, señora, señorita, señora. Okay. And Lalitamrita, Mayapur, Dham Ki Jai. And Ramananda Gopal. Somewhere, probably in Singhachalam again. And Rasamritas. Huh?
Yes, Gurudev.
Yeah.
I don't my camera works. I don't think so. But yeah, I'm here in the Dedi kitchen. Hare Krishna.
In the deity kitchen.
Dedi forum.
Deity forum. Okay. Nrsingadev Ki Jai.
Jai.
Then Rasamrita Sesa, all the way from Uruguay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hari
Good morning.
Hari.
Haribol.
Haribol. And Kike. Hey, Kike. Kike is there. Someday we will see Kike, but he is hidden. And we have Bhakti Sanga. We know who that is. That's the mystery lad from Novi Sad. Mystery lad from Novi Sad. How's that? Avadutta-rai. And Prananath-hari in Czech land. Very nice. Oh, what is that picture? Prananath-hari. Is that a picture of your grandfather, or he's not there? Okay. Then there's Shravana-ramaniya. Who else is? Yes, Shravana-ramaniya must be back in Slovenia. Kirtana-jivani must be in her home in, what is it called? What is this city called?
Mar del Plata.
Mar del Plata. Sí, Mar del Plata. Okay. And I don't know if I missed anyone. If I missed you, my apologies. And you can identify yourselves right now. Now or forever hold your peace. Okay. Right. On a more serious note, we are feeling very much the loss of two devotees, two wonderful devotees, Pandava, Prabhu, who the dear husband of Bhagavati, who is with us today. Yeah, what could be more of a shock than such a departure as he made? I wanted to complain to Pandava that he left without even saying goodbye. Normally he wouldn't do that, but these were special circumstances. Anyway. Yeah, what will the world be without Pandava? We can, in any case, appreciate that from all evidence, we can say he's in a much better place than any of us are right now. So that can be also celebrated. Vaishnavas appreciate that when Vaishnavas depart, they're going to a better place. They're going to Krishna's lotus feet. Yes, Bhagavati, you wanted to say something?
Hare Krishna to everyone, and my obeisances to you, Maharaj. I just, the ashes of Pandava next to me, covered by the Harinama chadar. So, and also I am planning to bring his ashes to Vrindavan. I have already ticket booked, so this is my mission.
Okay. When will you be going?
October 15th, I think, for 11 or 12 days.
Oh, okay.
It will be Vrindavan and Haridwar. 7 days in Vrindavan and 4 in Haridwar. This is a group organized by one of the Matajis from Leicester. So I will be, of course, not alone. And there is quite a big group being prepared as far as I know.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you're going to the group.
So he is safe now at home, let's say.
He's safe, yes. Safer than he ever was. Yeah. I got to know Pandava in Florida in 2006. By some sort of curious arrangement, I got a job teaching at University of Florida for 2 semesters. And Pandava was there at that time, and he also had a job, not at the university. He had a humble job. So I saw him quite frequently, and it was always nice. It was just always pleasant to have him there, and he was helping in so many ways. Always, I was struck that he was always a thoughtful person, always had some reflections, some questions, things he liked to consider from Shastra. Of course, he translated the entire most of the 10th canto, I guess, 11th and 12th. Did he do 10th canto? I know 11th and 12th from the English into Polish. Yeah. I presume devotees here in Poland are using those. You never saw it. Not even unofficial copies. You never saw it. Oh, that's interesting.
But I think Divya Simha, the book, could know something, because I think Divya Simha was helping with printing or something. So we have to. I might have it also in some of the memory sticks or something, but I didn't have time to get there yet because so many things I have to do now with, also in connection to Pandava Prabhu. But Divya Simha, as far as I know, he was publishing or something. There was something.
Okay, well, I hope it becomes available for devotees one way or another. After all, what's the point otherwise? But of course, BBT printing history of Poland. That's a subject in itself, isn't it?
This is it, Guru Maharaj.
Oh, that was mystical. Mukundamala just walked in the door with this. This is 11th and 12th cantos, I guess, without the commentaries. Yeah, it's just the verses. Or, yeah, summaries of each chapter and then the verses. So it's without the commentary. Okay, well, at least there's that. This was published by Bhaktivinoda. It's copyright for Polish edition by Bhaktivinoda. They use the Polish transliteration for everything in this edition. Nice. So that kind of answers the question. There it is. Okay.
Is it available? Is it available in bigger amount, in bigger number of copies?
This I don't know, but I would imagine if they wouldn't just print 1 or 5 or 10 copies, would they? There must be more. But,
so this is a surprise. I talked to Mukunda yesterday, and she didn't mention anything.
She was saving the surprise for right now.
For you.
Just see. Okay. So Pandava Prabhu ki jai. He's going to be waiting for us all. Waiting for us somewhere on the bank of the Yamuna, I guess. And similarly, His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj, who departed, what was it, 2 days after Gaur Purnima? Yeah. What a special soul. So powerful, a preacher. Yeah, the world is definitely not the same without him. He told me last September, we were in Radhadesh. He was there, we happened to both be there. And I was there trying to avoid RGB meetings, not very successfully. And he told me one day, I remember exactly where we were. We were walking away from the Radhadesh castle out toward the road. And he told me in a very matter-of-fact way, he said, so the doctors have determined that I have terminal cancer. I have only a few months to live, and that's the way it is. And I'm telling you this now, but please don't tell anybody else. So I guess I was one of the first devotees who were told. But what really struck me was how totally accepting he was of this. How completely, okay, this is how it is. This is what's going to be. So now I'm going to have to prepare for that and finish up all my affairs in this world and move on. And that's how he did it. That's we all saw he was so amazingly active despite his steady deterioration of health. The last time I saw him was February 6th at Kusum Sarovara in near Radhakund, Govardhan. He came together with Jayadvaita Maharaj and several devotees to Kusum Sarovara just to have an outing and some kirtan and some discussion. And I also joined them. And he was, seemingly quite normal at that time. And after that, we were walking out the gate of Kusum Sarovar area, and I was just chatting with him, and I told him we're going to have this retreat starting in a couple of days. And he said, oh, I would like to come one day. And I said, yes, please do. And so we kind of parted on that understanding that he was going to come in a few days to Govardhan again. He was going to join us and he would, speak and give his Sanga. So then when we tried to follow up on that, we learned that now his health has deteriorated considerably. So that was all. That was the beginning of his preparation for departure. Anyway, I wanted to say, one could say all kinds of wonderful appreciations about him. But for me, what struck me personally at the time when he told me, this is it, I'm going to be leaving in a few months, was how matter-of-fact it was and how he was accepting it. And apparently, that acceptance went right up to and including the end. We got a report, who was it, was saying, they spoke with Jayadvaita Maharaj after his departure, that Jayadvaita Maharaj had noted that shortly before his departure, I don't know how much before, but he noted a very clear change in a transcendental way. He could see, it became clear that Maharaj's consciousness had gone up. He was making his way far away, and so he was ready to go. So this is a success story, spiritual success story. For us, we're left behind, but as he said in his last message to his disciples, we will meet again soon. And he said, it will be so wonderful. He said, you cannot imagine. So, and he did not like, after he did announce, and everyone came to know that his condition is terminal, of course, then devotees would come to him and say, oh, Maharaj, so sorry to hear this. And he would, he said, don't come to me with these funeral faces. Don't come to me with this funeral face. So I think, long before he left, he was ready to go. So that's very wonderful. Does anyone want to make any comments, reflections, either about Pandava or Kadamba Kanana Maharaj? I should look at that chat.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who is this?
That's Ramananda Gopal.
Oh, there you are. Yes.
May I share something about Kadamba Kanana Swami?
Yes, please do.
Because after our little yatra in Govardhan, I wanted to see him because I had some presents from some of his disciples here from Simhachalam to give to him, mainly puja paraphernalia. And of course, over the years, especially in Leipzig, I had quite some association with him and got quite some mercy from him over the years in many different transcendental ways. And so I also wanted to see him again because I liked him very much, and he was always a great inspiration for my spiritual life as well. And he knew me also quite well. So I thought maybe I can see him again. And we went after Govardhan, we went to Vrindavan, and I saw some of his disciples. In fact, Rupa Sanatan, the husband of Mangala Chandrika, were actually one of the main caretakers, and I was in contact with him. And one morning I pumped also in Keshav Maharaj, his sannyas disciple. Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Maharaj. And he said, yeah, why you not just pop by? He said. But in this point, it was already clear he had stopped eating. He was only drinking water. And so it was basically, he cut himself off already, only the caretakers. And I mean, Mataji's were not allowed, and children, of course, also not. So I thought, yeah, maybe I just try it and see what happened. And I came there, and he saw me and said, Ram, Ram. This is always how he addressed me. He always called me Ram, Ram, and come in. So I was very fortunate to be there and come in with him, but he could already not. Speaking was quite hard already in this moment, and he could also had a hard time breathing. And he looked at me and said, "We're running out of steam." And this he said several times over the meeting. I was maybe there half an hour with him, and so he told me a little bit of his condition and of, yeah, we had several talks. I don't, it's not maybe not important for now, but he also, because I didn't know, somehow I was not prepared really. I was there and I was thinking then in this moment, my goodness, I see this person, I see him the last time. And so I said, Maharaj, actually, I want to thank you for all you, I started to say thank you. I said, Ram, don't thank me. I said, no, but Maharaj, I want to say something. And I knew also what you said. He doesn't want to see funeral faces, and he also didn't want to see a fuss or whatever. So that, but I just want to say thank you. And said, if you say thank you again, I slam you with my shoe. And he took his shoe, and he showed me. And sure enough, I said, Maharaj, thank you. And he slammed me with the shoe. And I said again, Maharaj, thank you. And again, he slammed me with his shoe. And I said, for the third time, I said, Maharaj, I thank you. And he, bam, he smashed me again, quite with some force still. I was amazed. And so this was sort of a blessing. And then Sabucha Prabhu also came in, my former temple president and some sort of senior disciple of Maharaj. And we had some talks about the early days in Leipzig and whatever. And he remembered some funny, it was Maharaj was such a funny person. I mean, I think he was one of the most funniest person I knew in the whole world, because he could, I don't know, in any circumstances, he could come out with a smile, and he could make you smile in any, occasion. And then, but I felt, okay, now it's time for me to, make a move, how I should now get out of this situation. And so I got up, I was kneeling in front of him. I got up and said, okay, Maharaj, then see you soon. I didn't know what to, so, whatever, meaning, okay, maybe we meet again or something like that. And he looked at me and said, no, Ram, you stay here a long time. And I was, what? I said, Ram, take this on your head. This is what you can take with you. You stay here for a long time, and you have to do something. And this is how he left. I mean, how he left me with a big question mark. And I said, Maharaj, it sounds like a curse. And he said, take this on your head. And yeah, since that time, I'm thinking, I was, and I share this with you and all of my God family, because I'm really bewildered what he meant with it, and yeah, maybe he could see something what I'm not ready, or whatever. So this was my last blessing what I get from him. And my wife,
for a long time and stay for a long time and do something.
Yeah, you have to. You will be here for a long time, and you will do something. You have to do something, but yeah, that's
take it as a blessing, not a curse. It's a blessing.
I spoke with different devotees, also his disciples or some seniors, and they also said it's a blessing. But every day I come back to this and think, oh my goodness, what does he mean? What should I do? What do you mean stay a long while? And so every day I was thinking about this. My wife finally said, well, Maharaj, he got you. Because you got him so many times, when he came in the temple room, I was the first one who shouted out. It was kind of a lila shout out, His Holiness Kadamba Swami ki jai, and he was looking at me and said, Ram, I will get you. And yeah, maybe this was because he didn't really like it when I shouted out and everybody churned and jai, and he was like, so yeah, I'm still thinking about it, and he got me. So I'm meditating about this. And yeah, I mean, there's so many funny stories. I think somebody else has also to share something, but there's so many stories what are really remarkable and will stay with me for forever, and will be inspiration on my journey forward. And I pray to him that, Maharaj, please reveal to me what should I do? What is it? What is it what I should do? And what is, and when I can get out. I felt also a little bit like when Mahaprabhu, he sent out Mukunda in the Mahaprakash Lila, he sent him out and said, because he associates with different sects or with different people, and he speaks like this here and there, and so he will not get my association again. And then Mukunda was so bewildered and so sad, and he sent somebody to ask him how long, and he said, well, in a million of lifetimes you will have my association again. So I don't know. So it reminded me somehow of a anyway, I stop now here. Thank you that I could share this, and yeah, whenever maybe you have some idea or whatever, you can let me know. Maybe you great source, or maybe more in connection, like not like people like me, and yeah, maybe
I'm sure everything will be revealed in due course of time.
Yeah, let's see. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's interesting. Nice that you could meet him on those when you did. It's good that you could connect in that way. Hemangi Gopi, your hand is up. Are you there, Hemangi Gopi? Oh, she's seems frozen now. Madhupuri, you want to say something? Where is
yes,
it?
Gurudev, my obeisance.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
I am in Vrindavan now.
Oh.
I was there when the body of Maharaj arrived. The devotees took it in the palanquin around the temple, and from the deities, Srila Prabhupada, Darshan, and when the ceremony, when they put it in this body in a samadhi, in the Goshala. It was very intensive ceremony. The devotees, so many devotees talking about Maharaj qualities and so on. And the day after the disciples I don't know the word. Celebrate a big feast with a huge prasadam for everything, everything. Yes, it's a huge feast. Yes, the big prasadam, so nice prasadam in his honor, and yeah, it's then the disciples, his disciples, they give me a card with his picture, and in the back a QR coded QR. When I see the picture, the Kirtana, and so class the Maharaj, so nice ceremony. I was the ceremony was Maharaj, the body, and the say the last goodbye and his body. Just this I can share. I share with us.
Thank you.
Sorry, my English is so bad.
No, that's all right. So things were very well organized for his final placing in samadhi and the memorial and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, so many of his disciples have been there in Vrindavan because they knew his days are coming to an end. So certainly they were also planning. And everything went as they planned, apparently. So that's nice.
Guru Maharaja, may I?
You wanted to say something?
Hare Krishna. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet Pandava Prabhu, so I cannot say about him. But I would like to share a few things about Kadamba Kana Maharaj. We got lots of his association here in Radhadesh, and he was our neighbor in the same building. So very often we could hear him singing bhajans in his room. But what was really special about Maharaj, back in June 2020, my husband and myself, we had some challenges at our service. So we asked Maharaj to talk to us, to give us some ideas how to overcome these challenges. And Maharaj gave us 2 hours of his time and many kind of strategic managerial ideas how to solve, and he gave examples of his own challenges in South Africa and New York. But what really, and he offered help. Yeah, he wanted to help us in some ways. But what really, amidst all these ideas of him as a manager, he told me, Anupama, you are not people person, so you have to be careful about that. So he was really there to give managerial ideas and advices, but also he could really see, he didn't know me that well, but still he could see one of my main shortcomings, and he was kind enough to address that in a way that really stayed with me. And since then I'm really kind of more on a watch when I tend to go back from this being not people person, but being project driven and results and not caring about relationships. So that was something wonderful about Maharaj, the way he instructed us.
Mm.
So
Yeah, Maharaj had a huge amount of experience in real world management within ISKCON. I mean, a lot of experience as temple president in Vrindavan, which almost cost him his life at that time. As most devotees know, there was an attempt on his life. He was managing in Mayapur. He was involved in the construction of Prabhupada's Samadhi there, as well as in Vrindavan, that construction. And when Jayadvaita Maharaj got him involved in New York, that was kind of humorous, because that was, you know, kind of sweet relation between the two of them. Sort of the last thing that Kadamba Kanana Maharaj wanted to do was to get involved in management in New York with the Brooklyn Temple. And Jayadvaita Maharaj just, you know, you got to do it. Okay, I got to do it because the boss says. And he had this, yeah, he was what Prabhupada would call a yes man, someone who would agree to do the service, whatever needed to be done, he would do it. But he did it with such intelligence, everything. As you said, very insightful. He could really, he could assess character of people, of others, so well. Quite amazing. Bhagavati, your hand is up. Is it from before or is it again up?
No, it's again. If I can I say something? Because last Sunday in Leicester Temple there was another program commemorating this time Kadamba Kanana Swami.
Mm.
There are few disciples of Maharaj here in Leicester, so they were sharing their memories, and there was huge. There were many people came, more than usual, for the program, and one of the I remember one devotee who is not his disciple, but he's Dutch. So he was saying that whenever Kadamba Kanana Swami was visiting Leicester, they were talking in Dutch, because Maharaj was also of this origin. So, and this devotee was saying that Maharaj was always very understanding, very normal, one can say. And this was appreciated very much by these devotees and other devotees, that he was not very, he was always approachable, and
yeah,
and the asking for the devotees how they are, what they are doing, very, very nice. And also the temple president of Leicester Temple, Pradyumna Prabhu, and his wife, they are disciples of Jayadvaita Swami, which I was not aware to be honest before. And so Kadamba Kanana Swami was kind of their godbrother, kind of. So they had special relationship with him, as far as I understood.
Yeah.
So another comment of Pradyumna Prabhu, when we were already, and after the program was a huge feast served in memory, in memory of Maharaj. And I came to Pradyumna and said, okay, so it was 5 weeks after Pandava had passed away. today is 6 weeks. Today is Saturday, again, the sixth Saturday. And Pradyumna Prabhu said, okay, so 5 weeks and 3 persons we lost, because it was Pandava Prabhu, and then one of devotees from Coventry, like known in Leicester. I didn't know him, but a bit older in age by then Pandava, and then Kadamba Kanana Swami. So Leicester Temple is just having special experiences. But
Yeah.
I also heard from somebody, I don't know if it is true, but that Kadamba Kanana Swami going to directly to Krishna, to Goloka Vrindavan, he will take every devotee who had passed away in the time near him, with him. So I do hope Pandava has already met him.
Yeah, why not?
And I don't know if can I say something about the kind of funeral ceremony of Pandava Prabhu? It's not.
Yes, I think if you can be a little brief, that would be okay.
Okay. So I just would say the 27th of Feb was the cremation ceremony of Pandava Prabhu, but before the actual funeral, there was a ceremony held in the funeral director office, and only 9 of us was there because it is kind of a chapel room, as they call it. So it was with an open coffin, and Pandava Prabhu looked very peaceful. And there were 3 brahmanas holding the special ritual and saying mantras and all of that. So Pandava got on his head quite a lot of Vrindavan dust and a lot of garlands. Each of them were put by different devotee, and he got also tulsi wood and Mahaprasadam also from Jagannath Puri, and also flowers from our garden offered to our govinda. So he was equipped in I think, the best way.
Yes.
And one of the maybe a bit funny thing, when I was going with the devotee couple in their car, just following the funeral car, but Pandava's coffin was in Jaguar car. So when we noticed that, I said probably he had such. I know from somebody else that Pandava appreciated good cars, so his last way was in Jaguar.
Yes.
Good,
at least
nice, high quality car.
At least at the end, he got a good ride. In a good. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Mangala Chandrika, you wanted to say something?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I just wanted to mention something about Kadamba Kanana Swami. As you were saying, Guru Maharaj, about him, just taking up tasks like that, definitely he took so many tasks which seemed impossible, and he did them amazing ways, like preaching in South Africa as well, and constructing Prabhupada's Samadhi. So many stories about Maharaj's expertise. And I remember also how one day he shared with us how he studies Prabhupada's books. He said that he has like compartments in his sort of consciousness. So when he studies some sort of a topic, he puts it in that compartment. So whenever he has to give class, he would just speak, open that compartment and just speak freely. So that was for me always like amazing. And of course, we all know his sense of humor. He had incredible sense of humor. And he shared with us how he sees sometimes devotees, he sees them as sort of an animal in some way. So some of the features of devotees. So he always told my husband that he's like a bear, and they always had so many jokes on that. And and him himself was a tiger. So that was really always sweet exchanges he had. But I wanted to share what impressed me the most personally about his last weeks. He was so focused on the holy name and really taking shelter of the holy name. And of course, even though it was already so hard for him to chant and everything, still, whenever he couldn't sit, what he would do is he would get up and go out in Vrindavan and walk and go for a japa walk. So one time we met him like this in Vrindavan. That was my last encounter with him. And I just asked Maharaj a question about Vrindavan, how is it possible to really find the essence in Vrindavan? Because obviously there's so many impressions always happening in Vrindavan, so many things to see. And Maharaj just showed me his japa and said, this is the real essence, how you can really find the meaning of Vrindavan. And he said also hearing from sadhus. So that really made an impression on me. And then when I heard this sort of a story of how Jayadvaita Swami told to Kadamba Kanana Swami, so now that chanting has become so difficult for you in the last days, it's okay if you cut down on your rounds, because obviously it took him hours and hours to complete 16 rounds. And Kadamba Kanana Swami just looked at Maharaj and said, Maharaj, if I don't struggle, I asked so many of my disciples to chant 16 rounds. And now if I don't struggle, if I don't complete them, how can I expect them? How will they struggle ever? So I thought that was really amazing, because he really had such faith in the holy name and he kept it till the end. And devotees were saying how his consciousness was so clear when in the last days, he was always so clear, even though he couldn't speak and so on. So that was really heart touching. So just wanted to say that.
Thank you. So you got a nice instruction from him at the end. The essence of Vrindavan is Hare Krishna. Very good. Okay. At this point, time is flying by. There's come a couple of questions which maybe could be answered another time. Somyakarani, you've written, it struck me what Kadamba Kanana said about death. He said death is just a change of service, and he showed it by his example. Just a change of service. Yeah. I don't know why, but unlike as I usually do in the very beginning, chanting Mangala Charan, I didn't. So better late than never. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah Shri Chaitanya-manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamaham Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttavadagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I do want to read a bit of Ramayana, but a couple of other things. Here I see also with us Divya-darshini and Rama Avatar, and you can all offer a big Haribol to Divya-darshini, who received second Brahman initiation, also in Govardhan.
Haribol!
Haribol!
And she and her husband are now busy with all kinds of service in the Zagreb temple for some time. I think you're still there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. And I don't see with us here, but we had one more initiate, and that is Vibhavari Das from Slovenia. He's otherwise known as, in his previous incarnation, as Ajaya. It was nice that he can finally, after quite some time, take the formal step into initiation. The other thing I wanted to say, for all of you who were with us in Govardhan, a gentle reminder that we're compiling a book, as you know, a book about, or not about, yes, about Govardhan. Our working title is Mountain of Love. And then a subtitle about the retreat 2023. And we're encouraging you all to write something and to be present in the form of your words in this book. I was just today working on what I'm writing, and I realized, I looked at the word count because I've asked everyone to limit to 1,200 words. And what I was writing is already 1,289 words. And I thought, uh-oh, now I'm in trouble. I think I have to find a way to shorten it, because I should make it shorter. Anyway, so please, it's now the 18th of March, and what was the deadline we set, Rasodari Hari?
It's 15th of April.
15th of April, which is in less than 4 weeks.
Yeah, and Guru Maharaj, you can write longer, no problem. I mean, even if everyone writes 1,200, it's still not so thick book. Still.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right. Should we tell everyone they can write more than 1,200 words?
Yeah.
Okay. I just hope nobody rambles. You know what rambling is? Rambling is just sort of going on, and where is this going? Yeah. Those of you who were not with us in Govardhan, we don't want you to feel left out. If any of you feel the spirit, if you feel like, yes, I also want to write something about Govardhan, I don't think we would exclude you because you were not physically present. But I do want to emphasize for those who were present that this is a chance of your lifetime. Well, the chance of 2023 in any case. Okay, enough of a rant about that. Okay. The Ramayana of Valmiki, an epic of ancient India. So I want to read, and I'm jumping right in the middle. This is a 7-volume edition of the Ramayana, translation of what's called the critical edition. I've explained, I think, at some other time, what is a critical edition, but this translation was done by several scholars, and the 2 scholars who translated this volume, which is volume 5, called the Sundara-kanda. The 2 translators I know personally, they were my Sanskrit teachers at University of California, Berkeley for, I guess it was 3 semesters altogether. Robert Goldman and Sally Goldman, husband and wife team. Sally Goldman was my instructor for, it was 2nd year or immediate Sanskrit. And she assigned for us to read Ramayana. So we were reading from the same text, which they then translated. And she gave us, with the translation, also commentaries of the traditional commentators in Sanskrit. And I found it very interesting that she, as a scholar, normally the scholars might say, oh, what do we care about what the commentators say? These are traditional commentators and they're all biased in some ways. But this was not at all her mood. It was very much appreciating the comments of the commentators. And in fact, the notes to this edition are extensively referring to the comments of the traditional commentators. At least, about 5 commentators, I think, are mentioned. And well, Sally Goldman, she was a very good teacher also. I remember the final exam she would give us was a very long exam. It was, I guess we had 3 hours, but you could not possibly finish everything in 3 hours. And she knew that, so she said, do something from each section. The exam had several sections, and she said, do something in each of the sections. So that, yeah, somehow I passed. She also wrote a very good introduction to Sanskrit called Devavani-praveshika. It's really a good way of entering into basic grammar of Sanskrit because it's so clear. Okay, alam alam. Let's start with, oh, I should say also this edition has extensive introductions in each volume. The introduction to this part is 98 pages, so almost 100 pages of introduction. This is called Sundara-kanda. Sundara means beautiful. It's the beautiful part. It's considered especially charming, especially beautiful. This is where it begins with Hanuman making his jump to Lanka, and then his search for Sita and his finding Sita, and his wonderful exchange, his dialogue with Sita, and then Hanuman's return to the mainland to report that he has found Sita. So the first verse of Sarga 1 says, then Hanuman, troubler of his foes, resolved to take to the sky the path traveled by celestial bards in order to find the place where Sita, who had been carried off by Ravana, was. A bard is a poet, and there are some notes to this verse. Some of them are quite technical. So, for example, the first one refers to some other edition and how in the introduction it's explained that there are different versions of where the Kishkinda Kanda ends. That's the section prior to the Sundara Kanda, and where begins the Sundara Kanda. So in different manuscripts, they end at and start at different places. And here's a little esoteric detail some of you might like. According to the commentator CG, I think that's Govinda-Raj, this shloka contains the 12th syllable of the Gayatri mantra, the syllable va in the word Ravana, according to another commentator, with which the poem is correlated, and thus marks the completion of 11,000 shlokas of the Vulgate. Now, the word Vulgate means, like you've maybe heard, the Vulgate Bible. The Vulgate is sort of the traditional standard edition of a sacred text. So it marks the completion of 11,000 shlokas of the Vulgate. Okay, so what he's saying is that the whole Ramayana is correlated to the Gayatri mantra. And what that means is that each of the syllables in the Gayatri mantra start different significant places. Why does that matter? I'm not sure. But the connection is made between Gayatri and Ramayana, so that's interesting. And then there's just some explanation of particular words in the verse. So Shatru-karshana has been translated as troubler of his foes. A foe is an enemy. Literally, he who causes his enemies to become emaciated. Emaciated means very thin, means like starved. I don't know how they get that literal from this, but okay. The commentators on the Southern Recension, which is an edition of the Ramayana found in South India, manuscript tradition, Southern Recension. There's basically two divisions, Northern Recension, Southern Recension. With the exception of Govindaraj, read Karshana to mean plowing under or dragging one's enemies. So we know the word Karshana from Sankarshana, and that's explained in the Bhagavatam, that Sankarshana it's a name of Balaram, since Balaram was drawn. Karshana means also drawing or pulling, was drawn from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. So here the word is Shatru Karshana. Okay. Then she explains, or they explain, Iyesha, resolved to take. Okay, there's a technical grammar point here. Both commentators note that whereas at the close of the preceding kanda, Hanuman had proceeded only mentally to Lanka, he now prepares to go to do so physically. So that's interesting. Hanuman is going to Lanka. He's been chosen, he's been given this task by Lord Rama. He's been reminded of his power to do so, to make the jump. He's been reminded by the bear, what's his name? Riksharaj? Vrindapati? Oh, you're muted. Still muted. Anyway. Bottom left is usually where the button is. Okay, whatever.
Oh, Haribol. Sorry, I was waiting for somebody to allow me to unmute. Sorry. His name was Jam. Some people call him Jamvant, and he also is known as Jambavan.
Jambavan, yeah.
Jambavan, yeah. The bear.
Is Riksharaj another name for him? Or
yeah, because that just means bear, king of bears.
King of bears, yeah. So that's interesting. Hanuman has been reminded of his power, and he has mentally made the journey in advance. So that may be a good tip. If you want to do something major and it's going to be difficult, do it mentally first. go through the steps. Charana charite, sky, the path traveled by celestial bards. The word sky, for which the phrase is a kenning, I don't know what that means, has been added. Okay, some more technical points. And then they say, after verse 1, and I guess before verse 2, most Southern manuscripts insert 2 lines. Quote, the monkey, wishing to accomplish this difficult feat that none could rival, holding his head and neck erect, resembled a bull, lord of cows. For that none could rival, nishpratidvandvam, one commentator suggests, quote, that nobody else could accomplish. And then they give 2 other possible translations. So like that, sometimes they're giving technical details, but they're explaining there's different ways that phrases, words can be translated. Okay, verses 2 and 3. And so, frightening birds, shattering trees with his chest, and slaughtering many animals, the wise, resolute, and powerful monkey, like a great lion, freely ranged the lapis-hued meadows, which resembled bodies of water. He slaughtered many animals as he was getting ready to jump. The vegans are not going to like that. The slope of that great mountain was ornamented with various minerals. So there's a lot of description in this section. I think we could say in the whole Sundarakanda. The slope of that great mountain was ornamented with various minerals in their natural state: dark blue, pale pink, lotus red, marbled black, and white. It was constantly thronged with yakshas, kinnaras, gandharvas, and great serpents. Resembling gods accompanied by their attendants, they could take on any form at will. So all these different beings were shape shifters, is the English expression, shape shifters. Like Shurpanaka, well, the Rakshasas also are shape shifters. One who can change shape. Standing there on that slope, on that hill, filled with the foremost among the great serpents, the monkey himself looked like a great serpent in a lake. So there's a lot of snakes there. And Hanuman looks like another snake. But not just a snake, but a great snake. And not just a great snake, but a great snake in a lake. Cupping his hands in reverence to Surya, the sun god, great Indra, Pavana, the god of the wind, self-existent Brahma, and all the great beings, he resolved to set forth. Facing east, the clever monkey cupped his hands in reverence to his father, the wind god, and then began to increase his size in preparation for his journey to the south. Thus the monkey formed his resolution to jump. In order to fulfill Rama's purpose, he increased in size right before the eyes of the monkey leaders, as does the sea on the days of spring tide. In his desire to leap the ocean, he assumed a body of immeasurable size and pressed down upon the mountain with his fore and hind feet. So all four, with all fours, he's pressing down. Pressed down by the monkey, the lovely mountains trembled for a moment so that it shook all the blossoms from its flowering trees. Covered all over with the fragrant mass of blossoms shaken loose from the trees, the mountain looked as if made of flowers. That's nice. Pressed down by the enormously powerful monkey, the mountain poured forth its waters as a rutting elephant pours forth fluid from its temples. Okay, more description of the mountain. A lot of description. When does he actually jump? Let's see. Wow, so much description of him getting ready to jump. And he's declaring how he's going to jump. He's talking about it. Finally. Okay. Verse 40 is where Hanuman finally jumps. So the first 39 verses are just getting us ready for Hanuman's jump. And then when he jumps, then we're really ready for it. We're ready to follow him. We're like, okay, Hanuman, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So in this way, Valmiki builds up for us the picture of his jumping. Nice. Well, okay. Rasudari-Hari is giving us 1,400 words by his infinite mercy. Okay, thank you all. So I think we'll end there. Let me just check. I think we can meet again next week. Yeah, should be possible. And if you like, we can, maybe we should spend a bit more time on Ramayana, because that will be the week before Ram Navami. Okay. Okay, so I wish you all a wonderful week of chanting Hare Krishna and remembering Krishna and serving Krishna and serving the Vaishnavas. And oh, you're there. Vijay Bihari, you're here.
Pranam Maharaj. Pranam.
So now we can all greet you, and where did you go?
Thank you.
And say a welcoming Hari Hari Bol, everybody together.
Raj Maharaj ki jai.
Jai Vijay.
Jai Ho Dandavad.
Giriraj Maharaj ki jai.
Okay, so thank you all very much, and we'll see you next week. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavati Vaishnava ki jai. Or Premanande.
Haribol.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.